question has to do with Islamophobia in the Trump administration. First, if you've experienced any in your personal life, and also you're in a city of activists. What can we do to make people have more of an informed narrative of Islam?
Yeah.
My boyfriend is Palestinian, and I never knew the Allahu Akbar. I knew what it meant, but I didn't know that Muslims, they say that during their prayers all the time.
Yeah,
and for that to be taken, and when any white American hears that, they think it's something terrible, but it's part of what they say when they pray. And
what I will say is that despite the fact that we are facing unprecedented levels of anti-Muslim sentiment in the United States, it has far less to do with Islam than it has to do with a crisis of identity that we are having as a country. What I find, and this is I'm a naturalized citizen, and so I became a citizen when I was 23. So I was really conscious about everything that was happening, the promises that I was making, the promises that were being made to me, this contract that we were all kind of engaging in and what it all meant. It was deeply meaningful to me because I was mature and conscious of it. And I think what I remember thinking to myself that's so remarkable is that most countries in the world define their national identity based on some measure of homogeneity, whatever that measure is. We are among the handful of nations who have never really done that, who can't do that. A country of immigrants can't really define national identity based on any kind of homogenous thing. And so what we rely on instead is, as you hear all the time, adherence to certain ideas, adherence to certain values. Here are these values, you accept them, and you're as American as George Washington. It's as simple as that. The problem, however, is that in times of societal stress, it becomes very difficult to have any measure of consensus about what those values mean. Not what they are, we all understand what they are, it's just what they mean. I'll give you an example. So, what the Trump administration says over and over and over again is that Islam is not really a religion. See, Islam is a political ideology masking itself as a religion. And what they mean by that is, well then, therefore, Muslims don't really get First Amendment religious rights. See, because it's not really a religion. So it's not like we say, oh no, forget about the freedom of religion. We just say, well, yeah, but it means something different in this case. And I think we are most definitely in a time of societal stress. We are facing, really extraordinary changes in America, demographic changes, political and racial changes in America. And for, as we were saying at the very beginning of this conversation, for a large swath of Americans, they are feeling unmoored by those changes. And the easiest way to define yourself, this has always been true, is in opposition to an other. This country, we have always had an other. We have always used, particularly in times of stress, we have always had an other that we define ourselves against. It's just that the new other right now is Islam and Muslims. For most people, what Islam means, what Islam represents, is just not American. That's what it means. And so you define yourself in those terms. So it's less about learning more about Islam. I'm not saying you shouldn't learn more about Islam. You should probably learn more about Islam. But I'm just saying that it's not about gaining knowledge. It's not about information accumulation, okay? Sometimes when I speak to intelligent liberal groups and we talk about bigotry, we always have, people always think, well, yeah, but it's just about ignorance, right? You're a bigot because you're ignorant. No, actually, there's very well-informed bigots in the world. It's not. Bigotry is not the result of ignorance. Bigotry is the result of fear. And fear, as any parent will tell you, is impervious to data. No amount of information dissipates fear. What dissipates fear is relationships. It's understanding. So what I would say is make yourself the representation of what America is supposed to be. Don't try to teach people things, just show them who you are. Show them your values. Put that into the world. get to know people, make yourself known and understood, that has more power than any reams and reams of information that you can in actually transforming perceptions, regardless of whether you're talking about Muslims or gay people or black people or Latinos or whatever the case may be.
Thank you.
Hi, Reza. My name is